Hello, good morning everyone. Happy October 27th. I am just coming to you guys. I was at the Trade Ideas Summit yesterday, so I'm coming to you live from San Diego from the hotel room. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Hey, Bad Scientist! You can hear me, so that is good news. Let me just get the chat up over here so I can see if anybody else puts anything up. So if anything happens, just shoot over in the chat because I can see that. So I've got up down below in the links, you guys can watch the live stream if you want. Amazing event as always. It was an honor to be part of it for the 4th year in a row. So definitely check it out. Lots of great content and information there to watch. And we will go ahead and get into, I wanted to remind you guys, coming up November 23rd in Dallas, a free event about the dark pools and trading around the dark pools. So if you're able to come to Dallas, it won't cost you anything to get in. You just have to register. That link is down below as well. And the dark pools are amazing. All right, so let's get into the indexes for the week, right? So we have, let's put this back on the daily chart. All right, so we've got, we've broken up above. Let me just hide this quickly. We've broken up above this box of consolidation right here, right? And we have this trend line up here around 303 to test. All of the averages are curling up. We had higher than normal volume for the week on Friday. Momentum looks like it's going up. RSI is not in the overbought area yet. And it looks like this is a third test of this area, right? So we had test 1 back here, sold off. Test 2, sold off. Test 3, it's selling off, but it did push up above, right, to 302.20. So we had the high back here of 302.63. So we're 43 cents off the high. So there is the potential there to go ahead and rip it up even more. Let's move this out of the way. We'll put it on our weekly chart as well. And you can see that we broke above this weekly trend line, right? And we held above it. So next test is that 303.50 area for the week. So testing to see if we are able to go ahead and continue up. All of our averages are in a bullish momentum right now. On the weekly, we do have declining volume. So that is something to keep an eye on because last time, right, we had volume going up and it sold off. Then massive volume back here on this candle with the big buying wick. Second week, another buying wick. So this one we had a bit more of selling at the top, and now we have sort of, it's selling at the top and selling at the bottom, but not major selling like we did back the week of September 30th. So keeping it all on watch. We do have earnings that are coming up. So earnings, as always, a great time for volatility, especially for day trading. And then we have the Nasdaq. Interesting, hitting that trend line right there, right? When we look back on the weekly chart, you can see that is a weekly trend line from the high back of the 27th of August. So we are breaking above it. We did hold above it for the month of July into August right there. And then we had a test in September. But if you look at it on the weekly, it looks like we've got a nice W pattern, right? We are holding above, we closed above, we broke 2 trend lines there. So this could be a very interesting week coming up. On our daily chart, we do have it right there where we stopped right there. And volume is increasing again on the daily chart. So right now, since we are up above all the averages, we broke out of this consolidation area. We had a strong buying candle on Nasdaq. Looks like Nasdaq is fairly strong. IWM, the Russell. So we came up, we tested it once, twice, 3 times, and the 4th time we had a selling wick. So let's see on the weekly, right? It's gonna look. Look at that. We hit the, this is, which average is it? It's going to be the, it's the 120 that we've got up here. And so we've got the averages curling up on the weekly. However, we do have this barrier right here around 155.50. So watching to see if it can go up above from there. But right now, everything is in the bullish mode since back about here, October 14th. We've been slowly climbing up. So first potential long, you guys can see it right over here. On my left, we have ALGT. It does have 12.595 million in the float, and it was 65.64% short float volume on Friday. So you can see we had earnings on Thursday, and then Friday, massive buying up, had massive range for the day as well, but still fairly bullish because we did close above the top half. The buyers brought it back up. On the 15-minute chart, you can see, yes, massive spike up, sell off, buy, and continue on up. I would look for support of 166.11 and resistance of 168.08. Let's go on to BJRI. So BJRI, BJ's Restaurants, again, another earnings. I would look for support of 42.23 to hold and resistance of 43.50 to the breakout. So we are testing all the averages here. We do have the 200 simple moving average at 43.66. We broke the 161 EMA, and we are continuing up here. So good earnings announcement, or good response to the earnings for BJRI. When we pull it back even further, you can see if we do test and break that 43.66, looking potentially for 44.50 area to break, then I would say 45. If we do break 45, then potentially up to 45.50, and then up here to test 46 area, 46.20. All right, next potential long is ITW, Illinois Toolworks. Earnings announcements as well. Great day. Closed up close near the high of the day. We'll likely have a positive open into Monday. Good potential swing candidate. 170.23 for support and 172.50. I forgot to mention BJRI is 20.07 million shares, and it was 41% short float volume on Friday. And then ITW has 322 million shares, and it was 49% short volume on Friday. When we look at it back on the year, we are having a 52-week breakout over here. And when we pull back all time, looks like we're going to have potential tests. We've got the high here of 174.64, so 174.50 will be the next test after 172, and then a high, all-time high of 179 after that. So nice potential 650 move to the upside. Let's go look at Flex again. Another earnings on Thursday into Friday. Just went and continued up all day. Nice grind up. 11.22 for support and 11.65 for resistance. Does have 510 million in the float and 64.33 short volume from Friday. So when we look at it on the year, it's looking good. We have once, twice, 3 times test, a nice W shape, potentially rip up, test this level up here of 12.50. So that could be a nice dollar move right there off of Flex potentially. Next up, Caterpillar. So Caterpillar again had earnings. These are all great earnings this week. Nice movement. The market was very strong with all the earnings. So Caterpillar, nice move up. I would look for support of 139.15 and resistance of 140. It does have 561 million in the float and 58.87% short volume from Friday. Let's get into our shorts. This one hit home, PCG. This is the Northern California electrical company. Again, last year we had massive sell-off because people were blaming the wildfires on the electrical company. I don't think they can really blame them this year as being up in the area. It's so incredibly dry. All it would take is literally a cigarette butt and it would burn. With the winds right now, it's absolutely crazy. It's different to be living through it and seeing it from that experience. So we had this prior low back here from the year, right? Over here of 507. So we did break that low. So now if we look at it on all time, we don't have anything lower, right? This IPO'd and it never came down this low. So looking at it, this has more potential movement. However, it did gap down. There was such massive volume it is hitting a new 52-week low. We'd had support right around here, and then all of a sudden the wildfires broke out. It was even worse, and now it's dropping down. So the massive volume, it is showing a bit oversold on the RSI, but I would wait for that confirmation before getting into this one, you know, on the flip side for potential swing up, because it did have a nice move up from that last drop down here. But look, it had one big drop down and then a second day and then a bit of consolidation. So if you go back and you look here and you say, okay, well, this day it closed, excuse me, I'm trying to get to this candle right here. It closed with 838, and the next day it dropped down, opened up at 628. So it had a $2 drop on that second day. So potential move down here, and just keep it on watch, right? It's got 518 million in the float. Next potential short, ADS. Let's go look at it on our 15-minute chart. We've got earnings, so came down, consolidated in this area Thursday and Friday. It was not able to break that range. So looking for, you know, a range break here. So it was consolidation all day on Friday, potentially 106.91 for resistance and 104.13 for support. When we look at it on the yearly chart, again, 52-week loser. It did break down. So looking at that was on Thursday, it was the 52-week loser. So inside bar right here, but it was below the close pretty much all day from Thursday. So keeping that on watch. It did have higher volume on Thursday, so keeping it on watch, right? If it does break below the low here for Thursday's day of 101.51, watch out, because you'll likely have a lot of stops that get in. Okay, yeah, I'll look at that, Bad Scientist, for sure. Let me get into Boeing. So Boeing is here. We've had a massive range. You know, I could put up, you might have a primary to watch here of 338, 339 really, and then a secondary one all the way down of 337.83, that extra range, because it does look like it's got this range right here, 341.95, 342, down to 339 area. So we've got a $3 range that it consolidated in on Friday. So looking for that to break one way or the other. And then I would say the first target, if it goes to the downside, would be that 337.83. And then after that, you know, we'd have to look back here. We've got this gap to be filled to the downside of the high of this candle. Let's see, it closed at 331, it opened at 332.89, so 333 for potential move all the way down, so potentially $5 right there. Next potential short, Bud. All right, so Bud had earnings. It did drop down all day on Friday. This one was on my watch list. Nice one. It rocked it right from the breakdown right here of the 82.80 area. So looking again for further sell-off, poor response by the market for earnings. So looking for a breakdown of 81.57 for support and 82.05 for resistance. You can see that it does have, if it does break right here of the 80 area, we're going to have potential gap fill down to 78.80, $1.20 move to the downside. It's showing oversold on RSI right now, but as the first day of the sell-off of earnings, would not be entering. Typically, it will have, you know, 3 days in the same direction, and then watch for that consolidation and bottom curl up from the earnings time period. Next potential short is Cube. So had earnings, sold off, massive volume day, and closed at the end of the day at the low. So looking for, I put it all the way down here at 31.50 because that's where it ended up after hours. So looking for that to break down below 31.50 and 32.40 for resistance to the upside. I forgot to tell you, Bud does have 1.63 billion in it, and Cube is 191 million. All right, so we have two potential longer term swings. So PayPal, they are a bit pricier this time. Let's get into the yearly chart here. So we've got PayPal. You can see it pretty much had a nice downward trend, and it has broken that trend, right? So we broke the trend, had earnings, broke the trend, higher volume right here, and second day. So watching for it to continue on up, potential test of that 108.76 potentially, and then maybe up to, once we break the 109.50 area, up to 110, and then up to 111.12. So keeping that one on watch potentially. And CHKP, same scenario. We had this nice downward trend, and it is breaking above it right here. We haven't broken above the 21 EMA. They do have earnings coming out. So keeping this one on watch, right? If we're able to break above with higher volume, we had 2 big high volume days. It's curling up. However, earnings is coming, so no guarantee right there. But just potential move if it were to break out on earnings, right? And okay, so Bat Scientist says, hey Jane, if you have some time, can you briefly go over how you would theoretically play an earnings strangle or straddle on beyond Apple, Facebook, AMD, and Starbucks? So I don't really do strangles or straddles through earnings, trading them potentially, you know, because the IV is so high, it's better to get in a week before earnings, in my opinion, and exit that right before earnings, so that afternoon, and then potentially getting in the next day after earnings, because the day before and the day after earnings, the IV is so high that it is tough to make a lot of money. But if you wanted to do like out of the money strangle straddles, so if you're looking at beyond, right? Yeah, they had all of these. They had all these great contracts that came up, everything like that. They're back at a support area back here. This had consolidation, and then it popped on earnings. This earnings, it didn't really pop up. It dropped down. That was the basis for the pull down. So it's really going to depend probably on how the market receives the earnings. It is showing oversold on the RSI. You know, I would say if potentially trading it, looking at a put for even all the way down at 77, and I would say a call all the way up at 124, trying to keep it pretty much equal. So 175, 75 and maybe 125 since we're right at 100. So keeping that $25 move for puts and calls, but still it's super, super risky, and I wouldn't really do that. I have no idea what the price is on those options right at the moment. Apple, so going into earnings, you know, we are breaking out. So if there was a big move, I might say, look at this consolidation area right here, use that, and then again, price it out accordingly. So that's 237, we're 247, we'll say. So go up to maybe 257 and 237 so that you've got the same on either side. Does that help you? Yeah, nice. Awesome, Bat Scientist. Yeah, I was enjoying San Diego. I was really out of the market on Friday, just enjoying my time here, touring along the coast. It was awesome. So, as always, guys, if you like my content, please like and subscribe. It was an amazing event this weekend. It's always great to get together with other traders in person, as many times it's us behind the computer, right? So it's nice to be able to reach out and hang out with each other. Looking on doing the Modern Trader Summit 2020 probably in the second weekend in July in Philadelphia. So looks like it's going to be rocking again this year. I can't wait. Everybody, come on out, check it out. ModernTraderSummit.com. If you want to get the information on further details as they unfold, just register and I'll shoot you out an email on that when it does open up. All right, guys, have a great week ahead. Carpe profit and seize those profits one trade at a time.